Welcome to the Health Daily Show. I'm your host, Chitra Nabat. Joining us today is Todd Cozzens, co-founder and managing partner of Transformation Capital. Todd, thank you for joining us.
Great to be here, Chitra.
Todd, tell us about Transformation Capital. What's unique and different about your firm and investing approach?
Well, I don't know what's unique and different about it. I don't really focus on that. I focus on what we do and why we did it. We built this firm because we saw the digital health boom coming in the mid-2000s. And we thought it was the right time to start this up and focus 100% on this. We feel it's a model because healthcare is so complex, because founders have such a difficult time navigating the long sales cycles, the complex workflows, the crazy reimbursement system, that we would set up a bespoke fund with people with operating experience, clinical experience, and investing experience combined to focus 100% in this market, digital health. So when we've raised Fund 1, people were saying, is digital health big enough for a fund? And when we were just raising our Fund 3, which closed in January, people said, you guys are in all of digital health? So that gives you an idea how the market's involved. So I think it was pretty good timing.
So some of these attributes you've talked about, the operating experience, clinical experience, investing experience, venture capital funding, it's very competitive. And some think we're in a recessionary environment. VC funding is down around 50% from last year's highs. You just mentioned raising your third fund, $800 million in the summer. How do you demonstrate innovation and competitiveness to your LPs?
Well, our LPs are obviously primarily focused on great returns. So we don't try to make the list of most allocated indiscriminate capital of the year award. We try to create value for our LPs, returns. So we're very focused on the operations of our companies. We're minority investors, but these are high growth companies. It's hard to be a majority in those investors, but we're very active. So we use our operational experience, our clinical experience, our deep network in the space to help our companies grow and reach their priorities, which have changed. Cash is king right now. So one of our big priorities in 21 was M&A and exits, and we had some great cash flow coming out of that. Our focus in 22 is cash is king for the companies, their cash flow, making sure they have enough cash runway to get to the other side of whatever this is. And by the way, we don't know whatever this is. We do that hospitals are hurting. We know that payers are under pressure. We know that the system is got some pressure points right now, which are going to elongate sales cycles. And so we're making sure that our companies are well equipped from scaling, from having enough cash. That's where we're focusing a lot of our efforts right now.
When it comes to then portfolio companies, how do you demonstrate innovativeness and competitiveness to the founders, to the companies you attract?
Well, having been there and done that before, taking two companies from basically startup to hundreds of millions of revenue and, some pretty good outcomes, GE with Marquette, United with Pisces. My time at Sequoia, which was a great training ground, probably the best investment firm in the world. I was really lucky to spend time there. And so it's just the reputation we build over time, having helped companies. And our best references are our CEOs. Like you can talk to any CEO of the 37 or 8 that we've invested in and ask them, who provides value to you? Do we do it better or more than others? Who knows? But we do it consistently, and that's our model and that's our focus. We spend half our time looking at new companies, half our time helping our companies grow. Now, some founders are just looking for a great valuation and great capital. We've got to be in love with the business model. We've got to really think the founder can at least get the company through the initial stages of growth. They've got to be really passionate, really smart, and we take it from there.
Are there other attributes, metrics specifically that you look for in the founders that you invest in, especially given your rich background, right? Being 30 years in this business, founder, operator, healthcare executive, been at 3 VC firms. So a little bit into your algorithm, your pattern recognition of attributes or metrics in founders or companies that cause you to invest.
Well, a famous professor of cardiology in London once told me, an Italian guy, Professor Masri told me, he said, Todd, enthusiasm built 80% of the world. And I'm a firm believer in that. So having founders that are extremely passionate, whether they had a medical incident themselves that caused them to get into the market, or they were in tech and they realized that they could do better by doing good in healthcare. So it's the passion, obviously it's the smarts, obviously it's the willing to be humble and listen. And those are some of the attributes that I reckon back to when I was a founder and looking for help, looking for mentorship. Not being so sure of myself that having arrows in the front, arrows in the back. It's not easy. It sounds like I had those two exits were fantastic along the way. There was plenty of ups and downs, and so. It's absolutely resilience, proven resilience, having faced adversity, been a member of a sport, athletes that have accomplished, know how to work in teams, etc. So I look for a lot of those kind of attributes. People that are not passionate, big company people that come in and try to think they can do something at an early stage, that never works. So those are just some quick thoughts.
You talk about the ups and downs of life and being a founder. Let's talk about leadership. In life, in business, there are codes, rules, norms to how things are done. Where have you been a code breaker in career or business, and how did you do it?
Well, I'm always trying to lead by example. I'm on the road a lot. I'm very customer oriented. I've seen the most successful people in our business, going back to Judy Faulkner and Neil Patterson, and those type of people that built the great EMR companies. They were first and foremost, in the field, salespeople, and then at home executing and scaling. And so I think leading by example, being out there. I travel as much as the young kids in our firm. You have to, and so it's really by leading by example in the field, but really hiring the right people at home to focus on the execution. We've got a great back office. We're building our network out with people like Julie Murchison and what she's brought to the table. And so you got to be holistic. You can't just be the sales guy. You can't just be the operational person. A CEO, a leader, has got to pull it all together. But first and foremost, you got to be a motivator of people. And you got to lead by falling on the sword ahead of your frontline people.
Todd, thank you so much for joining us.
It was a pleasure.